welcome to Nintendo Nostalgia. It's been a long time. I know, fans. We're sorry, listeners. It's been quite a while, but we are back. We're playing with some power today, and today it's going to be a very short episode, very small. It's between our NOS crew member Joshua Taylor and I, and Josh has some big announcements that he's been working on. Part of the reason why our shows not been consistent over the last maybe year and a half to 2 years for you listeners, and we do apologize for that. It's just everyone's got their own lives and are venturing out and doing different things, and Josh here has something that he has finally been able to get going, to get off the ground a little bit, and that's what we're doing here today. We're here to focus on Josh and what he's been doing, and I think our listeners, especially being fans of the same games that we are and have the same nostalgia, you guys would be interested to hear what he is doing, and maybe would love to show some support coming from you as well. So without further ado, Josh, welcome back. How have you been, man? Our listeners haven't heard from you in quite a while. What's going on in your life?
I have been doing all right. A lot of ups and downs. I've been really busy with 2 jobs at the moment. So working through that, trying to see exactly where that leads me. And of course, the main reason I'm here, if it's all right to go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah.
I've been working on a book, as many of you might already know, for the past, year and a half or so, along with the help with my wife and Henlo Press. And our illustrator, Jeremiah Morgan. You might have seen him around some in the community, I believe, on and off. But the name of the book is The Wonderfully Wild Adventures of Kana and Charlie. So if you haven't seen it already, it is a bear and a bird. We'll talk about that more in a minute, maybe.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's fantastic. So, Josh, you want to start your own, launch your hopefully the first of hundreds more to come. Depending on the success and the drive that you give it, we're hoping that this is something that maybe this could be the future of your career, and that'd be amazing. But it's the first of many, we hope. And this is based off of, you're kind of taking your childhood nostalgia for like Nintendo games, and you're creating your own, in a sense, maybe your own universe of storybooks.
Right.
Man, it'd be kind of cool if you could like venture off and like this book, it takes place in the same universe of another book that you create after this one, and
right.
Just connect them all, and things that we naturally just kind of all love. But as you said, it's about a bird and a bear, which I think if you are like Josh and I, you have your most nostalgia is for the Rareware Nintendo Super and 64 days. And those games are special. They mean a ton to us. And Josh, you're making your own adaptation based off some similar, at least the same type of animals almost, and creating your own story though. So let's just get the record straight. This isn't Banjo-Kazooie in a child's book. This is your own iteration of your own bear, your own bird. Maybe not even technically the same like species of bear and bird as Banjo-Kazooie, but it's got the same partnership duo, and they're going on an adventure. So why don't you tell us, like, kind of, I really would like to know like your thoughts, like what really inspired you to want to create the children's book, and why you chose the bear and bird as your first characters to cover a story with.
So I guess with the book itself, I've been looking for some creative stuff to do for quite a while. Of course, a lot of people may already know I'd love to work with something with the game industry. I know it sounds like one of those big crazy dreams, but I believe there's still something there. It's probably more realistic than more people realize. But anyhow, I kind of came to the conclusion, hey, I can do this. I've got Google Docs on my phone. I know of this and that. So I went ahead and started writing a kid's book. My wife, again, she helped me along with a lot of it, trying to get things going, and kind of pushed me along there. Now the bear and the bird, it obviously seems like a reference to Banjo and Kazooie, and it might be, just for the simple fact that they're a bear and the bird. I say it was a happy coincidence, but I think my wife knows otherwise. She definitely claims it's probably coming from Banjo and Kazooie. But outside of that, the bear Kana, she is a black bear, and that is because the state animal in West Virginia is a black bear. And the bird Charlie is a cardinal because the state bird is a cardinal, which again makes him a red bird. But it's a fairly similar dynamic, of course. If you're familiar with Banjo and Kazooie, they are, especially Kana and Banjo, they are very different characters, I would say. That's mostly where that inspiration comes from. Kana's name comes from two different things, really. It was something my daughter was like a kid for some reason. I remember running around calling herself that when she was playing once. I just thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
And the county we live in, where the capital city is Kanawha County, which starts with Kana. So kind of just worked. And Charlie, if you're familiar with West Virginia, like Charlie West, Charleston, things like that, it kind of flowed into a similar vein as well.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I love the inspiration. I love that you're taking a piece of something that you love and you're like connecting it to your own life, and I think that's what makes it special, and more than just the fact that it's and kind of inspired by Banjo and Kazooie, but it's something from your own home, you make it more real,
Right.
Which in a way, Banjo Kazooie always resonated with me as a kid, more than anything because of where they live, like where their house is. And I know there's no mountains in Indiana. And it probably feels more like, honestly, where you live, where they are.
Yeah.
But the country feel, and like the fields of like wheats and vegetables and whatnot. Like I grew up on a farm. I live around stuff like that. So and then the woods, and we had woods and honeybees and all that stuff. So like it reminded me of my own home. And I think it's really cool that you're able to take something from your own home, and maybe the Banjo Kazooie didn't reminded you of your home too, but you're applying it to a book now and creating your own world. So what is like the basis of your book? Like what are they trying to do here? Did they get their little sister captured too by a witch and they're trying to go get her, or did something maybe quite different happen for this bird and bear duo?
No,
without telling the whole story.
Oh yeah. I won't give it all away here. Near the beginning, they do get a particular treat that they both love stolen from them. They are golden delicious apples, which is again something very much from West Virginia. Basically, a particular monster flies in and grabs them and flies off, and they decide to go after him. It takes them through different little adventures there, and you run into other characters throughout it. Trying not to give too much away there, but you might recognize certain things again if you're familiar with this area from here. Like if you're familiar with some of the lore and the mythos, so to speak, things like that, you'll notice a few fun things. Now, again, you don't have to know that. You don't have to know anything about West Virginia, but
Sure.
A lot of the things that I created were very much based off of that in some way. It's not exact, but there's a lot of little things in there, a lot of references to other things as well, be it even a few video game references in there.
I think, again, that's fantastic, especially so if you're from West Virginia or the area, like you're going to see this and you're like, oh my gosh, oh, I know that. That's cool. And I mean, that I would love that too. Like anything with Indiana in it, like in a movie or something, I honestly get fascinated about. I want to say like, oh, did they like include like, I don't know, part of my home or wherever. Like I think like one of the only movies, like that Turbo movie with the snail, with Ryan Reynolds, he's the snail. Like the biggest thing about it is that he's going to go race in the Indy 500, and it's just like, all right, But I kind of geek out about it when a show is supposed to be based in my home state or city or close to it, and I just kind of wonder how much of my life that I live in gets actually in the film. So,
right.
And so I can see that within your book. That's really, I think that's neat, man. I think that's really cool. And like you said, it's full of mythos that people will recognize that they're from the area, but like to the rest of us, like me, like it'll be foreign and like we won't even think anything of it, but it'll be a cool story that's playing out to us.
Right.
So yeah, I love that. That's great. Well, I know we don't have too much time today, but right now we're in like Kickstarter mode for this, right? So
yes.
where are you at right now with Kickstarter? How much farther of a stretch do you need to go? How much time do you have to get to reach this goal? And where can people like help you out the best?
So as of this, well, just when I'm right now on a lunch break at work. The last I checked this morning, we had passed the halfway mark.
Fantastic.
And I've actually passed it by a decent bit since this morning.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so we're what is it? A few days in now, and it's looking good so far. So
yeah, you're only like a few days in, and you're already past the halfway mark. I mean, I think that's a pretty good sign.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it going through. Okay, but yeah, it's got about 17 days left, I believe.
Okay.
Like I said, we're doing pretty well. I don't know how I want to do this for this episode or what have you, but I have the link posted in a few different places, like our community, like chat group on Facebook and on Twitter and things like that. So it's in multiple different places. But yeah, we still have about 2 weeks or so, a little bit more to reach that goal. And if you all have already given, I very much appreciate that. I do.
We'll certainly link when we launch this episode where people can find the link to the Kickstarter as well.
Yeah, you can get a signed copy of the book right now, and you can also get an enamel like pen. I believe it's going to be of Kana and Charlie. I have not actually seen it all yet, but so yeah.
So you are using a company to help you with this Kickstarter instead of you just creating a Kickstarter on your own. Can you explain a little bit about the company that's like backing you and how this all works?
Yeah, so they're Henlo Press. They're a smaller one that's sort of they've done a lot in West Virginia and Kentucky, things like that. They're still fairly new, but they have they've really gotten a lot going. I would say even in the past year or so. Right now, they currently have, I would say, a lot of sort of like horror books, but it is more than that, and they're growing beyond that.
Yeah,
I think that was one reason. Yeah, it was certainly with mine. I think it was a very welcome little breath of fresh air. And there's plenty of other good books there that I've checked out. But yeah, I was connected to them through, if you all would know Cody, who is also known as Nerdwire. He connected me through all that, and he's been very supportive of everything. So shout out to him. He runs a Twitch channel. It's quite active too. So maybe go check him out while you're at it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Fantastic. Well, okay. Well, I mean, Josh, I'm for one really proud of you. I know every one of our guys in our friend group through this podcast, like we're proud of you, and we just want to see great things for you. And we're happy to see you step out of your comfort zone and take a leap of faith and put something down and try to create something. And, we're praying and hoping the best for you, man. And anything we can do to support you, let us know. And that's what we're trying to do here. So listeners, if you feel the need, at least check out what Josh is doing. If you got kids at home or on the way, or maybe you're just a Banjo-Kazooie fan and you think it'd be cool to have a story book based kind of about them, like in a way, a spiritual story successor book about them, please feel free to support Joshua. But Josh, do you have any final thoughts as we close out here?
Yeah, if I may add, and again, it was somewhat of not a conscious accident. I don't know how to put it, that there's a lot of Banjo-Kazooie maybe in there. I would say some of the humor sort of reflects that as well. Maybe not as many innuendos, so to speak. But I will say there's certain way things are said or certain attitudes that may put you in mind of that as well. So I hope some of you all that are familiar with that will be able to see that and enjoy it.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Well, I know I, for one, am glad to be backing you as well, too, my friend, and happy to, be able to help spread the word for you. So, well, with that said, guys, I think that's all for today. You guys have a blessed day, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Thank you all. See you later.